the state representative races are local. And even though you all know that there's a strong headwind this year, we will keep and we will expand the Democrat majority in the House because we have a strong message of job creation. We have better candidates in key seats. We have a nationally first-class field program with candidates who are willing to work hard. And for the first time, you all know Democrats generally don't have money. For the first time, we will have the money needed to supplement our personal contacts. But because I'm a nice guy, I do want to leave Bill Batchelor with the information that he's been looking for. 7 windows, 2 or 3 feet by 7 inches in length, 5 or 2 feet by 9 inches in length, and with beams in between, total of 326 inches. So for the curtains, now Bill can maybe spend more time on the campaigns, which you'll need just to be competitive. Or maybe he can spend the time working with us on policy for a change. I guess now we open it up for questions. Is that the idea?
We'll let these guys in first.
Okay. You guys want to give
You've talked about what the candidates can bring to this race and what record they have to present. Is that going to be the campaign commercial, or are you going to be pushing what has been accomplished as opposed to attack ads and targeting the other side?
Well, I'll take the first stab at answering that. We're going to communicate what the 2 candidates stand for. We're going to talk about what our candidate stands for, what they've accomplished, if they have been in office before, whether it's the state legislature or a local office. We will talk about their accomplishments because we're very proud of what all of our candidates have accomplished that have held office. And I think it's important that the public, the voters, know what the Republican stands for as well. In many of these races, there are stark contrasts between the Democrat and the Republican this year, and I believe that we will be in a position to talk about that too.
Mr. Speaker, if we take a deep breath and just think about the reality of this, we heard a lot about 17 seats in the last few cycles. There is no argument that 06 and 08 were Democratic wave years, a wave in 08 that brought House Democrats into power. If there is a similar wave for Republicans in 2010, and that enthusiasm level to get out the vote is just higher on the Republican side, as honestly as you can, is it not plausible to believe the Republicans can pick off 4 of those 17 seats that you've been making reference to?
I mean, I would say that, yes, there's no question 2006, 2008 were better environments for Democrats than 2010 appears to be shaping up. But I think for many reasons, many of which we just went through, there are things that distinguish the 2010 elections from the 2006, 2008 elections. To just hit a few of them quickly. First, I think we had superior candidates in 2006 and 2008, which helped us pick up those seats. Similarly, in 2010, I think we have superior candidates as compared to the Republicans. Use David Robinson being here as one example. Secondly, if you look at the financial support of the financial reports, and you look at the 2008 campaign when we picked up the majority, when we picked up 7 seats and picked up the majority, people like to say, well, we did that because of the environment. But one of the most significant factors that gets lost is that we increased our fundraising substantially in the 2008 cycle. And in fact, we almost matched the Republicans dollar for dollar down the stretch when we were picking up the majority. If you look at the pre-general and the post-general reports for the 2008 cycle, you will see that fact borne out. We were not heavily outspent in the 2008 cycle. We almost matched them dollar for dollar. Had we not done that, we probably would not have picked up the majority in 2008. And that really ties into the point that we have a significant financial advantage this time around. Right now, we have a 3-to-1 cash on hand advantage, and I only expect us to increase that financial advantage to hopefully a 4-to-1 to 5-to-1 ratio. So the environment notwithstanding, there are several other factors at play that distinguish the 2010 elections from 2006 and 2008, and that doesn't even go into the ground game or the grassroots work.
Mr. Speaker, you would expect 53 seats or plus.
Yes, and I would just add to that, it's been a little disappointing that some of the reporting has, looks at national polls and then says, and therefore the Ohio Democrats are going to lose the House without looking at seat by seat, which I think is not fair or accurate. The fact that, and I don't know that it's a fact, but if it's true that people don't like, or there's a number of voters now that are unhappy with Nancy Pelosi, that does not mean that David Robinson is not going to win this race because he's the better candidate in that House.
Mr. Speaker, can you retain control of the House if Governor Strickland loses?
Governor Strickland's not going to lose.
Actually, the question was, if you lose at the top of the ticket, does that affect your House race?
I don't know, but I do not believe Governor Strickland will lose the race. I don't think, I mean, if you look at the demographics, Governor Strickland will hold the Democratic base. In addition, Governor Strickland gets votes out of historically Republican areas that Democrats typically don't get. Governor Strickland does very well in his old congressional district. He does very well in southern Ohio. He has the endorsement of the National Rifle Association. He has the endorsement of the Buckeye Firearms organization. He draws votes from independents and Republicans that Democrats generally don't get. And he runs very well in the districts that we are most competitive in. So having Governor Strickland at the top of the ticket this year is another factor that we didn't mention earlier. But actually, if you compare, you talk about how well we did in 2008, actually having President Obama at the top of the ticket in many of the districts that are the most competitive is not as advantageous as having Governor Strickland at the top of the ticket in those same districts.